Acho, what are your thoughts on Joe Burrow's advice for young athletes?
I'm disregarding it. Their advice is their advice. It's not necessarily applicable for you. Always remember that. When somebody offers you advice, it is exactly that. It is their advice. It might work for you. It might not work for you. One of my favorite quotes from Will Smith's new book, he talks about you are a unique occurrence and you and now have never occurred before. So always operate under a unique understanding that you and now have never occurred. So maybe it'll be different for you this time around. What I break that down is, it depends how you want to get on the mountaintop. I haven't seen one commercial that Joe Burrow is in. Seen several commercials that Baker Mayfield is in. Baker Mayfield is killing Joe Burrow off the field. Killing Joe Burrow off the field. On the field, Joe Burrow got Baker Mayfield largely beat. So what do you want? Do you want to be the best quarterback or do you want to make the most money? Now, they're not mutually exclusive. You can do both. But when Juju Smith-Schuster was balling, the offensive player of the Steelers, off the field, he wasn't making no noise. When Juju Smith-Schuster is the biggest name off the field, different endorsement deals, Oakley, etc., he ain't been balling on the field. Depends what you want out of life. If you want to be a silent assassin, maybe one of the greatest quarterbacks, young great quarterbacks of all time, do your thing, Joe Burrow. But Baker Mayfield is one of the greatest young quarterbacks as it pertains to endorsements. And if that's what he wants to do, then do that. But don't sit here and start feeling as though you're slighted because you're shining off the field. Greatest basketball player, one of them, LeBron James. Every endorsement as you drive down Sunset Boulevard, from Calm to tequila brands to whatever the case may be. The late, great Kobe Bryant. Every endorsement, y'all remember, from the Nike ads to Body Armor, whatever the case may be. Aaron Rodgers, about to win 2 consecutive MVPs in every State Farm commercial. Patrick Mahomes, maybe more talented than Aaron Rodgers in every State Farm commercial. So just because something sounds great on social media does not necessarily, which, by the way, Joe Burrow got hot off this clip because of social media. So just because something sounds great on social media does not necessarily mean it is applicable for you. It's cool and it's a great rah-rah thing, but it's a different day and age, man. Do what you got to do to succeed in your own life.
That's an interesting take from a gambling man. Because I think what Joe Burrow was highlighting are some of the principles of this world. Some of those old tried and true tales that we've heard from grandparents on down. And as a gambling man you are, it's interesting when you go, and I sit at the casinos every now and then. You know, I sit down at the table every now and then. But I'm the dude that's going to double down when I got 10, and I'm going to also split 10. I'm also going to do things. I see the dealer has 17, hit me again, and people look at me like, don't do that. But then sometimes I win. I'm like, and then they're like, yeah, but over time, that ain't going to work for you. Now, I think what Joe Burrow is saying is like, look, I understand everyone has their own individuality, but what's going to win, what the house is going to do, the house wins, principles win as well. Let's talk about it. Because in the old school, when I was playing, my coach used to always say, don't come to practice on a red carpet, right? Basically, he was like, hey, man, I don't care what is going on. Keep this priority in terms of what you are focused on. That's playing the sport. And everything comes from that, right? What Joe Burrow is saying is basically talk robs walk. When you are, I did something, I worked out right now, then I got to post it. And don't act like you just posted and dip. You post it and you check. Is it on fire? What the comments said. My boys see it. Oh, who is this girl? DM her. Like all this stuff happens when you could be working some more, right? And coach is just saying, look, you add up all of that time, overtime, you wasted some time. And I think all Joe Burrow is highlighting is the house wins. Whether you're going to double down one time, Wiley, or some kid working out and get those likes and get those metrics, over time, you're probably not going to win as much as you could.
Like that.
Muhammad Ali, champions become champions when no one's around. John Morant says everything, all the work is done in the dark. I'm thinking of Jerry Rice running all those hills with nobody there. I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's that tried and true traditional approach. But then I hear Acho's take, and is there a place for social media? Is there a place for putting your workout on social media to show young kids how to play, to play the position, what footwork works for him? This could work for you. Yes. Is there something beneficial to that? Yes. But is it also a trap? Absolutely. 100% a trap. So bottom line to this thing is, like, if you're going to follow the workout in, like, you know, the Men's Health or GQ ad, like, okay, it sounds good. Like, see if you can do it. Great. That might be a starting point. But what works is boring. What works is, you know, It doesn't happen overnight. It takes forever. It's tedious. It's hard. And nobody's there. It's lonely when you're working like that.
Yep.
So I think that's what he's getting at. But bottom line, everything in moderation. Is there a place to put stuff out on Instagram? Sure there is.
Yeah.
Is there overboard? Is there a cliff you can fall off of and get in this black hole? Like, yeah, of course. But I see where he's coming from, and that's his, underdog, Karate Kid,
Correct.
Rocky kind of
Correct.
mentality. And that's fine. That's who he is. That's what he believes. And it's worked for him. So like you said, do what you do.
Hey, here's the thing. I don't know if we love the message as much as we love the messenger. Why do I say that?
fair.
You know, one of the things I hate most when watching NFL games, don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. I'm saying it anyway. One of the things I hate most when watching NFL games is there are 60 3-star players on the field and only 3 5-star players on the field. So you can still accomplish your goals if you're an underdog, right? And I'm like, I was a 3-star player. I get it. And I get the message here, right?
Like, why are you mad?
Because there are only ever 15 5-stars every year, and there are roughly 300 plus 3-stars. So the math is very simple. Duh, there are more 3-star players on the field than there are 5-star players on the
Sounds
field.
way better when they say it than when you say it.
Exactly.
No.
You had me.
That part, because it sounds really good. Joe Burrow, he's at the top of the mountain right now, and his life is an underdog. Y'all know how many cats are working privately, not posting it? They're never going to amount to anything nationally. So while this works for Joe Burrow, we like the messenger. We don't necessarily like the message. There's somebody right now we don't know about who's working right outside right now, climbing hills and sprinting hills with one of them stupid breathing masks.
Oh, no, I got one of those. Not
a COVID
stupid,
mask.
hard as hell. Hell to pay.
Yeah, scientific research says it does nothing.
Yeah, but my body says it does. Damn it, research that, damn it. When I wear it, I'm feeling it. So,
There's somebody right now, Sel, grinding in silence. And is never gonna make
you
it.
make it.
Flip the pancake, flip the coin, look at the other side. How many dudes we know that post, and then you're like, what happened to him? How many times we grew up in our era? And see, our era is different. Let's be real.
We didn't have it.
We didn't have it.
Right.
But I remember this. We did have this. I remember being in math class, and when your teacher was like, okay, test right now, and I want you to show me your work. And you're sitting there like, I just know the answer. I don't know how to show you the work. We used to hate to have to show our work. This era wants to show the work and then don't get the answer right. And you're like, I'm not applauding that. And Joe Burrow's like, look, I'm at the top of the mountain to let you know I have perspective from the bottom to here. And the ones who land here, the ones who arrive here, are the ones who do it in silence.
That's a lie, though. Tom Brady, he won a chip in Tampa after he came out and really started proclaiming the TB12 thing. He got a whole
but that
production
was
company.
22 years later.
And
What I'm saying, he did it both ways.
No.
He did it
Let's be
both
real.
ways.
Once he was established, he built the mountain, and then at the top of it was like, oh, by the way.
It's not even neither one of those. And I wrote this down. These young kids are not in position to hire a team that does that for you. All you got to do, once you get the dough or you get a company, social media company, you go into your photo albums, shared album, send it to them, and they do all the work, right?
That's true.
But that's a Tom Brady thing. That's why he sent me that care package. You think Tom Brady say, oh, Marcellus needs a mask and Marcellus needs a care kit? No, he's like, go hit Marcellus up, and that's it. These young kids don't have a team. And if they do have a team, great. But how much of it is robbing you of your time and your focus? Joe Burrow to me is just basically saying, stop showing your work and just work. Like, the receipts will be the results, not necessarily the shine that comes in the process of achieving those same results. I like it. Like, to me, it's great advice. It's not for everyone, as Acho pointed out. But what is advice? So, just break it down.
Yeah, it's somebody's personal experience, and then they offer, an umbrella blanket solution potentially to yours because they're not in your shoes, but I'll advise you on it. Here's what I know from what I've lived or what I've heard or whatever. But like for him, if he wins 3-4 Super Bowls and then comes out with a diet plan and a thing like Tom Brady, I'm not going to get mad at him. Hey, this worked for me. The Mamba mentality, that took years to develop.
I'm not mad at all at what Joe Burrow's saying. Let's make no mistake about it. What I'm saying is, let's not sit here and praise it as if it's the only way and as if it's the right way. What do I bring up again? Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, realistically speaking, a top 10 basketball player all time. But nobody esteems Tim Duncan as a top 10 basketball player all time, because he just quietly did the work. I was always watching the Spurs because they was beating up on my Dallas Mavericks. Tim Duncan was just quietly doing the work. We don't esteem Tim Duncan or give Tim Duncan the credit he deserves because Tim Duncan was just working quietly. But Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant, really about the same. But we always talk about Kobe in a much greater basketball talent perspective, when if you look at Tim Duncan, real talk, Tim Duncan has accomplished just as much, if not more. But what's the difference? Call the timeout. Call the 30. Call the
San
30.
Antonio, Los Angeles. I'm sorry.
But we already starting off on different
I've been on the Riverwalk. I've seen the Alamo. That's great.
But sir, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Now we're talking same thing. And Baker Mayfield got Burrow way Trump. You want to keep it football, keep it same state.
Okay,
Baker Mayfield got Burrow killed right now as far as overall branding recognition.
And he's just saying don't build the bridge between this branding recognition stuff and success. I did it without all that. Here's how I did it. It worked for me. It's basically what he's saying, I think.
Yeah. I got two things to just conclude this. One of them, I remember hearing that advice is something you already know, but someone else tells you. So that's interesting because I think these young athletes know there's a balancing act, as we brought up, between doing it. So it's not so much sizzle or substance, as Acho wants to highlight. It's sizzle and substance, or else maybe one would be lost. Interesting.